What's everyone up to? Gonna get this shit. Huh.
Welcome to Argos, traveler. My name is Herodotus, and I am a traveler from Hyrcanassus. I retrace the cause of various events, such as wars and great calamities. I describe what I see and record what I'm told, all with the aim of providing a better understanding of why these things occur. Look for me to introduce you to many sites. I have always admired the dedication of Greek metalworkers. Without them, we would not have the inspiring monuments that stir the hearts of Greek citizens everywhere.
I'd like to begin the tour now.
This is Argos, one of the oldest cities in Greece. The Argives were an ingenious people, famous for innovations in areas like military tactics. However, what they were most renowned for was their metallurgic artistry, especially with bronze. I hope you enjoy yourself. Look for me at the end of your visit.
Alright, let's do this. Let's learn about the Bronze Age. Alright. I ain't even gonna lie, I kinda forgot how to play this game. Yo, what's up, people?
The area that would become Argos was inhabited as early as the 3rd millennium BCE, but it was in the 7th century BCE that it officially became a city-state. One of Argos's major pillars was its metallurgical industry. As far back as the 8th century BCE, the city was famed for making products like long dress pins and tripod cauldrons, as well as impeccable body armor. In addition to their technical excellence, the Argives were also creative, as seen in their masterful bronze sculpting, which became prominent in the city during the 6th and 5th century BCE.
Uh-oh.
The area that would become Argos was inhabited as early as the 3rd millennium BCE, but it was in the 7th.
Okay, we're good.
One of Argos's major as far back as the 8th century in which
we're good. Okay, fine. I don't need that again. One. Boop. So they love making their statues and cauldrons and long dress pins and armor and shit.
Bronze is an alloy composed of 90% copper and 10% tin. Because of this, copper and tin needed to be smelted and combined to create the material needed for sculpting. After the bronze alloy was formed, it was melted in special furnaces. They required a tremendous amount of fuel and were usually supplied with charcoal made from specific types of wood. It's possible they were also coated with a protective lining of clay, which would have been sensible given the melting point of bronze is approximately 950 degrees Celsius.
Fuck me!
Once the bronze was melted and collected, the furnaces were dismantled and dumped.
only 950 degrees Celsius. You know, not that hot. Can I jump in one of these? I just want to become the bronze man. Alright, let's go here.
In the 8th century BCE, most small-scale statues were molded using a complicated and lengthy method called solid lost wax casting. From the 7th century BCE onwards, metalworkers adopted the more efficient hollow lost wax casting. At its core, this process involved using sculpting models from wax, making molds over these models, then filling the molds with bronze to produce the desired shapes.
Pretty much what we do now.
The process was advantageous because it saved on materials, produced lighter statues, and reduced the chance of possible defects.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we do now. Nice.
Once all the pieces of the sculpture were molded, they were welded together and subjected to the cold working process. This process involved repairing the sculpture's flaws by filling any holes and cracks with specifically measured bronze patches. Afterwards, the sculpture was scraped, chiseled, and polished until it was deemed satisfactory.
That's cool.
Decorative details like hair, eyebrows, and mustaches were added with the use of a sharp tool. Eyes, which could be inset with ivory, glass, or silver, were attached to their sockets using a resinous kind of glue. Teeth and fingernails were inlaid with silver, and lips and nipples with copper. These small touches added color and contributed to the sculpture's lifelike appearance.
Yeah. That's pretty badass, I ain't even gonna lie. That's kinda sick. Alright. Yo. It's over here. What's the eyeball thing? Oh. No. No photos. It's a historical location. Alright, yo, go in there. Whoa. Can we just talk about this dude's face? He's really concentrated.
Bronze sculptures have a long and varied history in Greece. During the geometric period of 900 to 700 BCE, the sculptures mainly depicted idealized heroes, charioteers, and horses.
I think I just realized who this voice is.
The Orientalizing period followed in the 7th century BCE. During this time, Greeks began adopting sculpting techniques from the East, and the depicted statues expanded to include mythological creatures like griffins and sphinxes. The Archaic period saw statues that reflected a better understanding of human anatomy, which eventually culminated in the realistic and powerful human sculptures of the Hellenistic period.
Clockwork Orange. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh shit, that explains it.
Argos was the home of Polykleitos, one of the most famous sculptors in ancient Greece. His works, like the Doryphorus and Diadomenos, as well as his treatise on sculpting called the Canon, had a massive impact on the art as a whole, particularly in regards to ideal body proportions. Sadly, the original versions of Polykleitos' sculptures have been lost, along with most bronze statues from antiquity. As time went on, many bronze statues were melted down to be recycled in things like weapons, ammunition, and even church bells. Because of this, marble copies from the Roman period are our best evidence of the masterpieces of Greek sculpture.
I see you have completed your tour. I trust you have a new appreciation for Greek sculptures after learning of the heart and soul that was poured into each step of their creation. Now, what else would you like to do? Then let us dive right in. Here is your first question. Which era of sculpting came first?
Hellenistic?
The Hellenistic period began in 323 BCE, following several other eras. Try again. Correct. The geometric period lasted from 900 to 700 BCE and mostly featured small-scale statues and statuettes of heroes and horses. On to the second question. Bronze was an alloy composed of which two metals?
Copper and tin?
Yes. To get the bronze required for sculpting, metal workers first needed to smelt copper and tin. One last question for you.
Oh shit.
Which
See if I can do
renowned
it.
sculptor was a native of Argos?
Oh shit, it was, this weird Praxiteles.
Praxiteles was originally from Athens. Keep
What?
trying.
Oh no, it's the other P one. Polykleitos.
Yes. Polykleitos was based
Yeah,
in Argos
that
and had
guy.
an enormous impact on the art of sculpting.
I knew it was a P.
You've done well. Your knowledge of metalwork is astounding.
That's all for now.
Then, farewell, traveler. May we meet again soon.
We will, my guy, we will. I just need to get all these motherfucking discovery sites, because I haven't discovered shit. Yeah, close. Come on. What's a circle? What, can I work on that or something? I don't know. Oh, in the jungle. The jungle. Okay, yeah, I just jumped you. What's up? Go on, girl. Alright, we're going This way. I hate your face, my guy. Hey, Hephaestus? Festios. Ooh, it's a banner. This way. Do 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 do. Boo ba doo. Chicken. I'm gonna get this thing and then go to my next tour. I don't know where we're going though. Yo, why is the whole street flooded? Damn, y'all. That's not good. Charge. Where's my horse? Come on. Up to you.
Huh?
Up to you. Sure. Alright, give me a minute here.
Ow!
Oh shit. Gonna learn about perfume. Today we learn about the perfume trade in ancient Greece. I'm live right now, what? What the fudge? Okay, where am I? Okay, I'm in this little bitch. Okay. Zoom. Okay. Okay. Is this Marcos?
Ah, my friend, I
Yes.
see you followed your nose to this lovely perfumery, perfume yard, perfactory? Yes, let's go with perfactory.
Ah, Marcos.
A word of advice from a former perfume peddler. Never start your sales pitch with,
Fucking
"You
Marcos.
smell like you could use some perfume." It has a surprisingly low success rate.
I wonder why, Marcos. I wonder why.
This sensuous little island is where perfume was
Fucking
produced.
Marcos.
Your nostrils are in for a treat. Unless you're allergic, in which case I could sell you a wonderful remedy for a very reasonable price. No? Okay then. I'll check in on you at the end of your visit. See you soon, my friend.
See you soon if you don't die. Marcos is the first person you have to do missions for in the game, and it's fucking hilarious. Fucking Marcos.
Perfume-making techniques were invented and perfected in Mesopotamia and Egypt,
Mesopotamia and
beginning in
Egypt.
the 4th millennium BCE.
Fourth millennium.
By the time of the Mycenaean era, perfume
Mycenaean
played
era.
an important role in the Greek economy. Mostly reserved for kings, priests, and aristocrats in the beginning,
Aristocrats.
it later became more widely available during the classical and Hellenistic periods. Greeks used perfume for more than just personal cosmetics. It also had sacred uses. For example, cults would sometimes anoint their god's statue with perfume, and it was also used during rituals like weddings and funerals. Food and wine could also be scented with perfume to add to a meal's presentation. The art of making perfume was part of medicine and pharmacology, and physicians devoted entire books listing the best perfume recipes.
That's sick as shit. Aight. Richard, I'm live. I discovered that bitch.
Perfume is made up of two main components: a greasy substance, called an excipient, like vegetable
Excipient.
oil or animal fat, and an odorous substance, such as flowers and plants. For ancient Greeks,
Aye.
the most common excipient was olive oil.
Olive
According
oil.
to Theophrastus, however, the most valuable oils were those extracted from nuts in the Syrian and Egyptian deserts. The odorous ingredient could be taken from a variety of sources. These include flowers like roses or lilies, herbs like oregano, spices like saffron,
Oregano?
resins like amber,
Oregano!
and leaves from plants.
Never heard
Some
it called
fragrances
oregano
were
before.
also imported from outside of Greece, like Indian cinnamon and Syrian frankincense. These exotic scents were considered
oregano.
exceptionally precious.
So wait, who's wrong? Am I wrong or is he wrong? He's wrong. It's fucking oregano, my G. Oregano. Fucking organo.
Mixing scent into the fatty excipient was called enfleurage, of which there were two methods. If the flower being used for the scent was fragile, the preferred method of extraction was cold enfleurage, which required an oil-soaked cloth. First, the cloth was rubbed against the flower's petals, saturating the oil with the scent.
Aye,
Then,
so they rubbed that
the cloth
bitch.
was pressed to wring out the scented oil. Hot enfleurage involved heating the excipient before mixing in the scented substance.
So you just took a cloth and you rubbed it up against a whole bunch of flowers. That's cool.
The hot
Nothing like
enfleurage
aggressively
process
touching some flowers.
consisted of heating and distillation. After the scented ingredients were dipped into heated oil, the mixture was then filtered before being pressed and decanted. Once the mixture was complete, spices, coloring agents and fixatives were added, along with
fixatives.
preservatives to prevent the perfume from spoiling. Finally, the liquid was hermetically sealed in bottles, ready to be shipped to market.
So wait. They put all that shit in a rag and they squeezed it like this. Pretty much. They just pretty much put it in a rag and wrung that bitch out. I got you. I can make perfume. I'm a rocket scientist now. I'm gonna make my own perfume.
Perfume was usually bottled in ceramic or glass flasks, but more luxurious fragrances were contained in ornamented and painted flasks. Lekythoi and alabastra were elegant
lekythoi.
bottles designed for women, while arabaloi were used by athletes. It was common for the bottle's craftsmen to brand them to prevent frauds and knockoffs. Perfume shops were usually located in city centers, befitting of their importance. In addition to selling perfume, they were also sometimes used as meeting places. For example, the perfume shops near Athens' Agora were frequented every morning by the city's youth. The main purpose of perfume was to attract members of both the opposite and the same sex. We can trace this practice back to a scene in the Iliad, where Hera used perfume to seduce Zeus. Similarly, hymns about goddesses like Demeter and Aphrodite always mention their pleasant smell, further solidifying the belief that scent and seduction went hand in hand. However, perfume was also a mark of social status. Athletes covered themselves in perfumed oils during their training and at symposia, and citizens were judged based on how anointed, shiny, and perfumed their bodies were.
Hello again, my friend. I hope you see now how important perfume was, not only for aesthetic purposes, but for Greek social hierarchy. I wouldn't charge so much for my own bottles if I didn't know the value of what I was selling. What else can Marcos do for you? Good idea. Let's start with an easy question. Which of the following is an example of an excipient? Yes, olive oil makes a great excipient. And dressing, and medicine. Honestly, we pour that stuff on everything, including ourselves. And question 2. What is enfleurage? Correct. Enfleurage involved mixing the perfume scent into an excipient. We're almost done. Just one more question. In the Iliad, which goddess used perfume to seduce Zeus? In the Iliad, which goddess used perfume to... Yes, Hera poured a saucy scent on herself to get her husband's attention. You did it! You've completed the test! If you say so, but I have a feeling we'll run into each other again soon. Farewell! Ugh!
σαν ότι η φυγάτη μου εκκληρονόμησε λυθίαν και δούλους παρά θείο αυτής.
Ως είδης δε τα πηγόα έσοδε του ανδρός.
Επιθυμούμεν θύνε ρήτρα. Ή ουπές γεννήσετε, τέλος γάμου έστε.
Αλλά όμως εταίρο δύο αγαπάτων αλληλών.
Περί αγάπης σου τόπος. Ο πλούτος αυτής δι προστατευτεί.
Διαλέγομαι έναν του άλλο, μάλλον ιδιωτικό.
Ή ξένος, ή ίστα όταν ημιτήρ ή κλινήρης.
Ποιος περσέ, μία μοιία πίτνουσα αναμένουσα τον νέο.
Η μείο πρεσβύτερος πέφηκε, άπαντα αφήνεμι.
Της χρεόδοτος, εγώ, έστι τούτο το δώρον αυτής εκτιτάζει.
Αυτή προσεδέχτη ταύτα προς χάριν σου και νυν τη μητέαση.
Και ο οίκος, τι έστειν η πίστης, τι μεν το σου το προσβετεί.
Εν φάδες μεν γουν.
Εν φάδες μεν.
Άπασε εσύ λήξεις πάβονται πότε, προσέτει και εντός πλήτου.
Κληρονόμησας της μικρός στην ουσίαν και λέγεις μειός περ ξένα.
Ή ξένος, ή ίστα όταν ημιτήρ ή κλινήρης.
Ποιος περσέ, μία μοιία πίτνουσα αναμένουσα τον νέο.
Η μείο πρεσβύτερος πέφηκε, άπαντα αφήνεμι.
Της χρεόδοτης, εγώ, έστι τούτο το δώρον αυτής εκτιτάζει.
Αυτή προσεδέχτη ταύτα προς χάριν σου και νυν τη μητέαση.
Και ο οίκος, τι έστειν η πίστης, τι μεν το σου το προσβετεί.
Ως γέγεθα ατεωρώνεις.
Αληθές εστί.
Κατανοώ ότι θέλεις να συναντήσει με οίκη.
Ναι, όπως γάμος εστί επιχειρήσεις της.
Ήκουε σαν ότι η φυγάτη μου εκκληρονόμησε λυθίαν και δούλους παρά θείο αυτής.
Ως ήθιστε τα πηγόα έσοδε του ανδρός.
Επιθυμούμεν θύνε ρήτρα. Ή ουπές γεννήσετε, τέλος γάμου έστε.
Αλλά όμως εταίρο δύο αγαπάτων αλληλών.
Περί αγάπης σου τόπος. Ο πλούτος αυτής δι προστατευτεί.
Διαλέγομαι έναν του το άλλο, μάλλον ιδιωτικό.
Ή ξένος, ή ίστα όταν ημιτήρ ή κλινήρης.
Ποιος περσέ, μία μοιία πίτνουσα αναμένουσα τον νέο.
Η μείο πρεσβύτερος πέφηκε, άπαντα αφήνεμι.
Της χρεόδοτης, εγώ, έστι τούτο το δώρον αυτής εκτιτάζει.
Αυτή προσεδέχτη ταύτα προς χάριν σου και νυν τη μητέαση.
Και ο οίκος, τι έστειν η πίστης, τι μεν το σου το προσβετεί.
Φάδες μεν γουν.
Εν φάδες μεν.
Άπασε εσύ λήξεις πάβονται πότε, προσέτει και εντός πλήθου.
Κληρονόμησας της μικρός στην ουσίαν και λέγεις μειός περ ξένα.
Welcome, visitor, to where Spartan boys become Spartan men. My name is Leonidas. I am a king of Sparta. But do not think me some idle aristocrat softened by luxury. When Spartans go to war, I stand alongside them, shield to shield. And my spear tastes the same blood as those of my men.
What do you think of this place,
I can't
Leonidas?
help but be reminded of the boy I used to be. I wonder what that boy would think if he saw me today. Would he be proud? Intimidated? Or would he pity the tired old man standing in front of him? But such thoughts are meaningless. Let us move on.
Depends. Are you gonna let the hunchback join your army so you don't get slaughtered by the fucking...
The Agogi was Sparta's strict education system.
Persians or
The
not?
strenuous regimen took in the young boys and then reshaped them until nothing was left but the strength, intelligence, and resolve of a perfect Spartan citizen. I will find you once your visit has ended, and we will talk further. Until then, visitor.
What's this map look like? Oh, Shiza. I got a shitload to explore here. Alright, well, let's start off behind us.
Ποιος εμέ περιπέζει.
Get out my way, boy. Alright. Hey. Let's go. running, 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 running. Oh shoot.
Sparta was a Greek city located in the Peloponnese. It differed from other cities
Ew.
of the time in that it had no
Give me
walls.
Malcolm McDowell back.
Sparta originated as 4 neighboring villages: Patani, Limnes, Mizoa, and Cynosura, all of which shared the same political, military, and
I'm not
religious
gonna fucking
life.
remember that
After
shit.
2 wars with the Messenians, the city's territory expanded even further. By the 5th century BCE,
They fought the
allegedly
Messenians.
controlled almost half of the Peloponnese.
Okay. Messenian. I need to remember that. Boop.
The Agoge was the military training and education program undergone by Sparta's male youth. Grooming men for war was one of the city's main priorities. Boys began their training at the young age of 7 and completed it when they were 30. It has been said that Spartan infants were inspected for weakness shortly after birth. If they were deemed too sickly, they were thrown into chasms. However, this information remains unproven. The healthy boys were considered suitable for training. When they came of age, they were removed from their families and were placed into service of the state. Their education included subjects like reading, writing, and even music, but was mostly focused on tough military exercises meant to turn the boys into efficient soldiers. The Agoge was divided into 3 cycles: one for boys aged 7 to 12, one for adolescents aged 12 to 20, and one for men aged 20 to 30. Each cycle included different exercises for refining the body and mind.
Zoom. O2. Had completed. Charge. Go this way. Yeah.
Sparta played a large role in defeating the Persians during the Greco-Persian Wars in the 5th century BCE.
Yeah, didn't
they
they
held their
lose,
king
though?
Leonidas' glorious death at the Battle of Thermopylae in particularly high
Yeah,
esteem.
of
Because
course they did.
Leonidas was killed in battle, Sparta believed he died a good death and showed incredible bravery. Qualities to be held as a model for all Spartans. This idealized bravery was embedded in the city's collective memory and was the main quality people strove for in the Agoge.
Okay, wait. Of course he was a boss and he was held in esteem. You take 300 people to take out 3,000 and you tell me he's not a boss. They made a wall of their enemies' dead bodies. Like, that's savage. Tromos. Oh, is this where they race and shit? I got you. Is that a wolf? That's a wolf. Hi, puppy. I can't pet the
The
puppy.
first cycle of the
Terrible
Agoge
game.
focused on boys aged 7 to 12. Each of the boys had shaved heads and wore light clothing. They walked everywhere barefoot, swam the Erotus River all year long, slept on reeds, and participated in cult rituals for Artemis or Thea. The boys were grouped into herds, or agoli, and were supervised by older adolescents. Once they reached the age of 12, they entered the second cycle of the Agoge, which aimed to integrate them into the society of citizen soldiers.
In other words, fight or die. Am I getting close to another one? Yeah, there's that one up there. Boop.
The Agoge's second cycle included boys aged 12 to 20. When they reached the age of 20, the young men were dubbed Erinez and could officially serve as hoplites in the Spartan army. Until the age of 30, Spartan men lived in communal mess halls called Siskenia. From the age of 22 onward, they were permitted to start a family, but 30 was viewed as a more appropriate age to get married. Spartan men served in the military until they turned 60, when they were designated as elders, or gerontes. However, many were known to continue serving anyway, such as King Archimedes III, who fought in the army until he was killed in battle at the age of 62.
Oh, so 2 years after. Congratulations, my guy. You stayed in battle 2 more years before you got killed. Shit.
All adult male Spartans participated in communal meals called Syssitia. The attending Spartans contributed different kinds of food on a monthly basis, in addition to a small sum of money to pay for meat. Each man was entitled to 1 portion of a meal, with the exception of the kings, who received 2 portions. Syssitia attendance was mandatory for every Spartan fortunate enough to be part of the group. The meals had great political significance. According to Xenophon and Plutarch, the Syssitia was designed to foster a sense of equality between citizens. It also demonstrated the self-restraint and moderation of Spartan society. But in reality, the Syssitia only increased the differentiation between the rich and the poor. Those who could not afford to contribute to the communal food not only missed their meals, but also lost their right of citizenship.
Savage. You ain't got nothing to bring to the potluck, you getting the fuck out. Peace, we don't want your ass in here anymore. Aight, damn. I'll return to the tour guide in a minute. I need to go do some shit. Yeah, caca. Move out. Oh, Castor and Pollux. Cool. Good for y'all. Where's the next one? I'm just gonna place it here. And just run straight. That's a big bronze statue. Is he at least wearing clothes? He is definitely not wearing clothes. Ooh, the apocalypse. Yeah, definitely not wearing any clothes. Okay, I thought so. Damn guy. Spartans. Yeah. I gotta return to the tour guide. Even though it's right fucking there. You just chilling there? Get up, you fucking lazy ass. we need to go see the old man. Jump. Come on, at least land on him. Jump. Come on, jumpity jump, jump, jump. Gonna get back in this building. Yeah. Alright, let's do this test. We can do it.
Your tour has ended. As you have seen,
Your tour has
the
ended.
Erogi was not for the weak or faint of heart. But it did its job in producing skilled warriors and shrewd citizens. What else would you like to do? So you think you are ready for first? The Erogi was made up of how many cycles?
4.
No, that would be too...
2.
I'm afraid that is not...
It's 1 cycle.
No, but I...
It's definitely 3.
Correct. The Erogi was divided into 3 cycles. 1 for boys. Next question. How many meal portions were kings entitled to at Syssitia?
2, cause they're dicks.
Yes, Spartan kings had the right to double portions. One final question. When were Spartans allowed to grow mustaches?
What? 20.
No. Though men...
30.
Yes. Once a Spartan man was over 30. Impressive, visitor.
Nice.
As you wish. Come this way.
Go in the jungle. Oh. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Oh. Philippines. Let's look at all this right now. Minotaur. Alright, we're done. Wait, what? Towards the Battle of Marathon. Okay. Okay, let me see my horses though. Let me see it. Ooh. Abraxas. Come on, to the map. Attica. Bow. Let's start this battle and shit. Ow! Ow!
Welcome, traveler,
Ow!
to the site of the legendary Battle of Marathon.
What do you think of
It's
this
truly
place?
incredible that such a small place would have such
What's up?
tremendous significance. But then again, even the tiniest pebble can send ripples through the water. Marathon was the location of one of the greatest battles in Greek history. It was here where Athenians made a stand against the might of an imposing Persian fleet. Your visit will take you through the causes of the conflict, the battle itself, and its far-reaching consequences. I will see you again once you're through. Farewell for now.
Yeah, I'll see you in a minute, my guy. I run over her.
In 490 BCE, 600 Persian triremes landed on
I
a
have a
beach
question.
35 kilometers north
Can you
of
take the ice
Athens.
out?
Standing in their way were 11,000 hoplites, led
Thank
by
you.
the prestigious Athenian general Miltiades. The Persian forces outnumber the Greeks approximately 5-1, and yet the smaller force managed to push back their would-be conquerors. The Battle of Marathon was a major turning point in the Greco-Persian Wars, and the Athenians' victory would be celebrated for many years. The modern-day distance-running event is named a marathon
Pardon?
in memory of a soldier from the battle who ran back to Athens to announce their victory. Though whether this is real or legend is uncertain.
There you go. Thank you. No straws. Okay, so what was that?
In 490 BCE, 600 Persian triremes landed on a beach
600
35 kilometers north of
Persian.
Athens. Standing in their way were 11,000 hoplites, led by the prestigious Athenian general Miltiades.
Miltiades.
The Persian forces outnumbered the Greeks approximately 5 to 1, and yet the smaller force managed to push back their would-be conquerors. The Battle
some
of
chicken
Marathon was a
motherfucking
major
nuggets.
turning point in the Greco-Persian Wars,
Yeah.
and the Athenians' victory would be celebrated for many years. The modern-day distance-running event is named a marathon in memory of a soldier from the battle who ran back to Athens to announce their victory, though whether this is real or legend is uncertain.
You're uncertain. Church. Huh? Huh?
The Persians wanted to invade Greece in
Huh?
part due to its rich silver mines. In 545 BCE, they came closer to
Can't
this
really
goal
hear you.
after their
I have
victory
that
over Croesus, the king of
in my-
Lydia. The victory forced some Greek
20
populations
piece.
in Asia Minor to surrender.
I got a burger
and
and
gave
a
the
20
Persians a
piece.
solid foothold to carry out a large-scale invasion. In 494 BCE, the city of Miletus revolted against its Persian rulers.
Miletus.
They were aided by Athens and the nearby city of Eretria, and even burned down an important Persian temple. The Persian king Darius was enraged by their sacrilege, and in 491 BCE, sent messengers to the Greek cities demanding their submission. Athens and Sparta killed the Persian messengers, goading Darius to invade. The Persians began their attacks, first capturing the city of Naxos and enslaving its inhabitants, then taking the city of Eretria. Filled with confidence from their string of victories, the Persians set their sights on Athens. The Greeks were surprised by the ferocity of the Persian attacks. Seeking aid against the upcoming invasion, Athens was forced to appeal to other cities for help. In a surprising move, they asked for aid from Sparta, known for having the strongest army in Greece. The Spartans agreed to the request, but they were unable to send reinforcements in time due to the religious feast of Apollo Carneos, which forbade them from leaving their city until the next full moon. The only extra help Athens managed to acquire was from the small Boeotian city of Plataea, which sent an additional 1,000 hoplites. This was the first time in Greek history that their entire civilization was under attack from an external invader. Despite sharing the same language and same religion, Greek city-states had often warred amongst themselves. The
Of course
Persian
they did.
invasion was the first time they realized the necessity of collective action to ensure their survival.
Shit, why you gonna worry about someone who you don't know about when you got people who next door who are fighting you?
The Persian fleet originally planned to land at the port of Phaleron. However, the exiled Athenian tyrant Hippias, who sided with the Persians, advised them to land at Marathon instead, where it would be easier to deploy cavalry. The Athenians were unaware of the Persian battle plans and left Marathon undefended. This allowed the Persians to
So you saying there was a
quietly set up
traitor?
camp on the beach, while Athens scrambled to mount a defense.
God damn. The traitorous motherfuckers.
The Persians' overwhelming numerical superiority forced the Athenians to get creative with their defensive strategy. The city sent 10,000 hoplites, along with the extra 1,000 Plataean reinforcements, to a hill located above the Persian encampment. Once in position, Athenians had to decide whether to wait for the Persians to attack or to strike them first. Athens strategists believed the former option was better, but the general Miltiades believed a first strike was more advantageous, as the Persians had their backs to the sea. In the end, Miltiades' opinion prevailed, and the Greeks made their move.
You lucky, brah. You lucky. I mean, good for you, Miltiades, but you lucky, bruh.
According to Herodotus, the Greek forces charged at the Persians without archers or cavalry. The Persians were unprepared for what they saw as an act of madness.
Oh,
While they
that's
were
right.
able to hold the Greeks back at first,
They were like, ah!
they were eventually pushed back to their ships and forced
Okay,
to retreat.
I got you.
The Persians
scared the
suffered
shit
heavy
out of 'em.
losses during the battle, with approximately 6,400 casualties.
Ooh.
The Athenians, on the other hand, only lost 192 soldiers.
Damn! That's some... Damn! That's some big numbers. Y'all took out 6,000 and only lost
The
like
victory
just
at
under
Marathon
200?
was considered miraculous. The Greeks attributed this miracle to the appearance of legendary heroes who they allegedly saw return from the dead to fight at their side in defense of the city. For example, several Athenians swore they saw the mythical king Theseus take up arms at Marathon, a scene which would later be depicted in Athens' Agora. Similarly, some hoplites attested that Heracles appeared at Marathon, clad in his lion skin and wielding a club. The supposed appearance of these heroes helped elevate the Battle of Marathon to a legendary status among the Greek people.
Okay, but... Yeah, I can see it. I want to see Heracles there. Just beating people
After
with
the
this fucking
Persians
club.
fled Marathon, they tried to invade Athens by way of the Bay of Phaleron. However, this gave the Athenians time to return to their city and mount a proper defense. Fearing further losses, the admiral of the Persian fleet called off their attack, and the Persians returned to their empire.
Yeah, but then they got
Darius
smart
was
and brought
furious
back
at the campaign's failure
a
and decided to seek
bunch.
vengeance in a retaliatory expedition from both land and sea. Meanwhile, Sparta begrudgingly congratulated Athens on their victory.
Congratulations, I guess. You did it. You survived. Alright, let's do this. Ba-ba-dum-bum.
The victory at Marathon marked the beginning of a new era for Athens. According to Herodotus, Athens' success at pushing back the Persians ranked them first in the ongoing competition between the Greek city-states. The Athenians immortalized their prestige by erecting monuments in both their own city and in Delphi. The Battle of Marathon was also perceived as a blow against tyranny. Tyranny went from being perceived as a simple flaw in authoritarian excess to major treason against the homeland, a sin that rulers would take great pains to avoid being accused of. This helped consolidate the institution of democracy for the next 2 centuries.
Damn.
I hope you enjoyed this look into the famous Battle of Marathon.
Yeah, I
It's
did.
not only a major turning point in the history of Athens, but also for all of Greece. Its repercussions would be felt for many years to come. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah. Give me the
Of
fucking
course. Let's start with a simple question.
quiz. Okay,
Which
question 1.
Athenian general led the Greek forces at Marathon?
That's the King the Third, Miltiades.
Correct. Miltiades led the forces at Marathon, and it was his strategy that helped the Greeks push the Persians back. Time for another question.
Yeah.
Which
What's
Greek
that?
city revolted against the Persians in 494 BCE?
Miletos.
Correct. Miletus revolted against Persian rule with support from both Athens and Eretria. One more question. Which other Greek city aided Athens at Marathon?
The small one, Plataea.
Yes, Plataea sent 1,000 Obides to aid the Athenian forces. Well done, traveler. You have learned much.
Ow. Nice. Nox suggested tower,
Very well.
bruh.
Follow me closely,
Next
traveler.
suggested tour. Let's go. Malice. The hot gates of Thermopylae? Oh shit! Oh, 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 oh. Alright, let's go do this in a minute. Line of Leonidas. Come on, horse. Take me. Horsey horse. To the place I'm going. Horsey horse. Take me home. To the discovery side. Yo, stop, horse. Too far, horse. Ah! Up, up, up. Herodotus. That's not a bust. That is literally you. Hi, Herodotus. Oh shit, that's a long... Oh yeah, I have no health. Nice. get it. Going this way, horse. Welcome everybody. How's everyone doing? There we go. Nice. There we go. There we go. Now let me go to tour. Oh yeah. Honestly, that's not much. Thought it'd be more. I ain't even gonna lie. Let's do the Battle of Thermopylae.
Welcome, visitor, to Thermopylae.
What do you think of this place?
Thermopylae stirs many feelings in my heart. Rage at the Persians' arrogance. Regret that I could not do more. But mostly, I feel proud. Proud of my city, and of my men, who fought to protect the very soul of the Spartan people. For those few fateful days, they were my brothers. I miss them all. Thermopylae was where a courageous group of Spartans stood amongst other Greek soldiers and held off the forces of King Xerxes, the Persian. When you're done, find me and we'll speak more.
Oh, we'll speak more, my guy. Don't you worry about that.
The Persian king Darius's cries of rage echoed for years after his humiliating defeat at Marathon. Even after Darius's death, his son Xerxes continued to seek vengeance against the Greeks. According to Aeschylus, Asia was emptied of all its men. Greek spies brought the news of Xerxes' imminent invasion back to their homeland. Afterwards, many discussions were had on the best place to mount a defense. In the end, the Greeks decided on Thermopylae.
Yep.
The area featured a narrow pass that could act as a bottleneck for the Persian army, negating their numerical superiority.
Yep.
It also offered naval advantages, offering the Greek fleets opportunities for flanking. 5,000 Peloponnesian Greeks set up at a fort near the entrance of the narrow passage, otherwise known as the Hot Gates. Leading them was Leonidas, a Spartan king who prided himself on supposedly being a direct descendant of Heracles. Leonidas was accompanied by several elite soldiers who together made up the famous 300 Spartans.
Oh. Yes, the Battle of Thermopylae. Thermopylae. Let's go.
The Persian army arrived in the summer of 480 BCE, preceded by a flood of rumors regarding their strength and numbers.
Yep.
It was claimed they consumed 6,000 tons of wheat every day, and that they dried every river and brook they passed to quench their near insatiable thirst. During their march to Thermopylae, the Persians faced no opposition, and in fact,
Of course they
increased their
didn't.
numbers further by recruiting more soldiers from other Greek cities and places like Thrace. According to Herodotus, the last count of the Persian fleet was numbered at 1,207 boats, mounted by approximately 240,000 men. He estimates the land
240,000
army,
men?
meanwhile,
What?
was made up of more than 1 million men. The Greek forces at Thermopylae were heavily outnumbered.
Richard, 2,040 men on boats. 2,040 men on boats for Thermopylae. 1 million on foot. That's what the Persians had in their numbers. Damn!
Xerxes believed that at the sight of his massive army, the Greeks at Thermopylae would flee in terror. Instead, they deliberated. The majority of the Peloponnesians wanted to engage the Persians on the Isthmus of Corinth. Leonidas, meanwhile, believed it was wiser to stay put in Thermopylae. While the Greek forces debated, a Persian horseman was sent to spy on the enemy. He returned to Xerxes with surprising news. Not only were the Greeks not fleeing, but the Spartans guarding the fort were exercising and combing their hair. A far cry from the fearful soldiers Xerxes expected. To increase the pressure on the Greeks, Xerxes waited 4 more days, then attacked on the 5th. The Persians faced heavy resistance and suffered many losses, and Herodotus says Xerxes leaped 3 times from his chair, seized with fear for his army. The following day proved to be just as difficult for the Persian forces, and the Greeks continued to stand their ground.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love that. They thought the army was going to be scared of them, and then they were just chilling, combing their hair and singing.
Came forward with information. He told the Persians of another route which could take them around Thermopylae.
No.
A Persian contingent was sent to verify the information. While there were Greek soldiers stationed to guard the route, they were forced to flee from the Persians.
Of course.
Thus,
there was not
on the
enough.
3rd day of the battle, the Greeks were surrounded by their enemy.
They screwed themselves, boy. They screwed themselves. They screwed themselves because they're assholes.
With the Persians both in front of and behind them, the Greek forces at Thermopylae realized they had 2 choices: flee to live another day, or stand and fight till their last breath. Most of the Greeks chose the former option, but some stayed, including Leonidas and his 300 Spartans. For the Spartans, dying a glorious death was one of the highest honors they could achieve. The few members of Leonidas' Spartans who did not participate in the last stand at Thermopylae felt that they had missed an opportunity for honor and either committed suicide or continued living under the mockery and disgust of their fellow citizens.
Of course.
The Spartans' last stand was not only for glory, though. Had they not held off the Persians, the Greeks' retreating forces would probably have been cut down by enemy horsemen.
See, the Spartans could have held that. But
on the morning of the 3rd day, King Xerxes was assured of his victory. However, that victory did not come easy. King Leonidas himself fell in battle, and a furious fight broke out around his body. The Spartans fought to the last man, and when they had all been slain, Leonidas' body was brought before Xerxes. According to Herodotus, Persians usually honored the most courageous warriors, even if they were enemies. However, Xerxes was so consumed by rage at the Spartans' resistance that instead
Richard.
he cut off Leonidas's head and ordered it impaled on a stake. A statue of a lion was later erected on the hill of the Spartans' last stand in honor of Leonidas's bravery.
Five days, though. Damn. Two days
Though
of
they were
straight
victorious,
fighting.
the Battle of Thermopylae shook the morale of the Persian army.
Of course.
They had lost thousands of men, while Greek casualties only numbered in the hundreds. And due to the sacrifice of the Spartans, the rest of the Greek army had been able to successfully retreat and regroup.
If it wasn't for the Spartans...
As a result, even as Xerxes set up camp at the foot of Athens' Acropolis, ready to get revenge for his father's humiliating defeat at Marathon, the Persians were more anxious than confident. They were more aware than ever that the Greeks did not fear them, and were ready to die defending their land.
It's because the Spartans are fierce. But they were stupid. I ain't even gonna lie. Their own arrogance killed them.
In the end, the Battle of Thermopylae was still a loss for the Greeks. However, the battle gave the Greeks a boost in morale that carried them all the way to their decisive victory over the Persians in the Battle of Plataea in 479 BCE. With the war against the Persians finally won, the Greeks were able to honor the sacrifice of Leonidas and his Spartans with memorials and poems, forever solidifying the glory of Sparta's military prowess. The newfound respect for Sparta was noteworthy, because before the war, the city was seen as no more than a bully who forced itself into the affairs of others. Thermopylae changed opinions of Sparta for the better, and gave them a legitimate claim to be one of Greece's most powerful and influential cities.
Let's do this. I'm gonna nail this.
I hope you understand the magnitude of the sacrifices made at Thermopylae. Without them, the Greek people would have surely ended as a footnote in Persian history. Is there something else you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'm ready for the quiz now.
If you think you're ready, let's first question. Who was Xerxes' father?
Darius.
Yes. One of the main reasons Xerxes invaded Greece was to get revenge for Darius' defeat at the Battle of Marathon.
Yes.
Another question for you. Which battle is seen as the final victory against Xerxes' Persian forces?
Thermopylae.
No, try...
What? Platia?
Correct. The Battle of Plataea helped put an end to Xerxes. One
Okay.
last question. How many Spartans fought at the Battle of Thermopylae?
Very
Yes.
hard question.
300 of us stood against Xerxes' forces. You've done well, visitor. I have no more questions for you.
Nice. Next tour, please.
Then let us not waste time. Follow me.
As you wish, my lord. What? Ancient Greeks had flamethrowers? That's savage as shit. Alright then. Who'd I get? Athenian woman. Oh yo, where's my horsey though? I got a wasting horse. Yeah. I thought I got okay. What's on the map? What are we doing here? There's only one thing here. Okay, let's go get this shit. Come on, horsey. Boom. Alright, horse. You're supposed to follow the road, not just stop there. Good horse. Okay, it's a banner. It's a Macedonian. I'm just gonna climb this wall. Maybe not. Do I have to? Is it around the wall? No, it's just up here. Alright. Do 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 do. Ooh. Alright, where do I gotta go? Right there. Do 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 do. You're no help. Up and over. Yo, climb up. on, we almost there. Boo. Yeah. The mayor's a Diomedes. Cancel follow road. Since you ain't gonna go the right way. I don't want to go 400 meters. Okay, what else are we learning here? Let's just go to this one. There's one this way. Is it in here? Yeah, it's here. Fight pits. Training pits. Where's this last one? Yeah, it is. Well, shiza. I don't even think I need to synchronize. We're just gonna synchronize anyways. Looks like it's at least gonna take me to my destination. Let's go. no, 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 no. Up. Here we go. Back to the tour. To the tour. Yes. Do it.
Welcome to Amphipolis, traveler.
Here it is.
The Battle of Amphipolis was surely an interesting one. One might even call it anticlimactic. But that does not mean it wasn't important in the greater scheme of the Peloponnesian War. The city of Amphipolis was the site of one of the more unique battles of the Peloponnesian War. Two generals, the Athenian Cleon and the Spartan Brasidas, fought for this land in an effort to control the resources it provided. In the end, though, neither got what they wanted. Look for me when you finish your visit, and we can speak of what you've learned.
The land that would come to be known as Amphipolis was originally part of Thrace, a region inhabited by formidable semi-nomadic horsemen. Thrace was rich in gold and silver mines. It was surrounded by lush forests, making it very attractive to outside parties like Greece and Persia. By 513 BCE, Persia had managed to conquer much of Thrace. But after their defeat in 479 BCE, Athens made a play for the land. They conquered the nearby island of Thasos in 465 BCE, but the military prowess of the Thracian riders kept them out of the country's interior. It was only in 436 BCE that Athens established a solid foothold in Thrace with the founding of Amphipolis, a city on the banks of the river Strymon.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
During the Peloponnesian War, the Spartan general Brasidas sought a way to subvert Athenian power across the Greek world. He set his sights on capturing the coast of Thrace, hoping to seize the resources the area provided. Brasidas knew that many of the Greeks living in Thrace hated the greed and brutality of their Athenian neighbors and decided to take advantage of the situation. He set off on an expedition to Amphipolis, accompanied by 1,000 hoplites and 700 helots, and arrived before the city in the winter of 424 BCE. At Amphipolis' ramparts, Brasidas announced that he preferred to take the city peacefully, and promised to allow safe passage to any inhabitants who wished to leave, in addition to sparing those who wanted to cooperate. This proposal was well received by the city's residents, and he was able to capture Amphipolis without striking a single blow.
Nice.
Brasidas' march on Amphipolis blindsided the Athenians. By the time they heard the news and dispatched the general Thucydides to defend Amphipolis, Brasidas had already rallied several nearby cities to help him defend the region from Athens' so-called tyranny. After half a day's journey from Thasos, Thucydides arrived at the port of Aeon, but was unable to retake Amphipolis. Athens held Thucydides responsible for the loss of Amphipolis and forced the general into exile. In spite of Brasidas' achievements, Sparta did not send him reinforcements, which forced the general to negotiate a truce with Athens to hold on to the ground he gained. The matter of how to deal with Amphipolis divided Athens. The politician Nicias, as well as the city of Sparta, hoped that peace could be negotiated. However, the popular Athenian statesman and general Cleon wanted to continue fighting the war. Indecision continued until 422 BCE, when Cleon was elected as one of Athens' strategists. This decision made it clear that the city's people were in favor of war. The truce was ended, and Cleon began his journey to Amphipolis, retaking small towns that had been conquered by Brasidas along the way. On arriving at the port of Aeon, Cleon requested troops from the king of Macedonia. He also hired several Thracian mercenaries to bolster his force's numbers. Afterwards, all Cleon could do was wait for the remainder of his reinforcements. While they waited, the Athenian forces began to resent Cleon's hesitation to attack. They saw him as soft and incompetent, especially compared to their opponent, Brasidas. Sensing the tension, Cleon decided to act without waiting for reinforcements to arrive. He set out from the port of Aeon to observe Amphipolis, setting up a camp on a nearby hill. To Cleon's surprise, Amphipolis appeared to be completely unprotected, with no guards stationed at the city's gates and ramparts. However, the city's lack of protection was only an illusion. Even so, upon seeing this, Cleon regretted that he did not bring wooden towers, which would have allowed him to easily recapture the city. Brasidas positioned his own troops in a nearby wooded area to get a better view of Cleon's army. When the Athenians began moving to set up camp, Brasidas returned to Amphipolis. He believed his army was less well-trained than the Athenians and decided to rely instead on cunning tactics and Cleon's inexperience as a military leader. Brasidas organized a two-pronged attack. He would personally lead a small raid, then one of his lieutenants would follow up with a second attack shortly after, disorienting the enemy. He had barely finished formulating his plan when he saw Cleon's army pack up and retreat back towards the coast. The cowardly display made Brasidas realize that perhaps victory would be easier than he thought. After seeing Brasidas' troops return to Amphipolis, Cleon decided to fall back to the port of Aeon and once again wait for reinforcements. Unfortunately, his exact orders were confusing and contradictory, which left the Athenian forces in disarray. Brasidas took advantage of this confusion and began his attack. Cleon's forces panicked, which made them easy prey for the Spartans. 600 Athenians were killed, while the Spartans only lost 7 men. Cleon's remaining
600 to
forces
7.
took refuge in Aeon, where the bodies of their comrades were eventually returned to them, though only after being stripped of their weapons. During the pitched battle between the Spartans and the Athenians, both Brasidas and Cleon were killed. The reports of their respective deaths reflect how they were perceived as military leaders. We know almost nothing about Cleon's death, other than that he was killed by a Thracian soldier. Brasidas, meanwhile, survived long enough to be taken back to Amphipolis, where he was informed of his victory. He was buried inside the city, which was considered an honor bestowed only upon heroes, and was celebrated as the true founder of Amphipolis.
Damn. One dude got killed by a random soldier.
The Battle of Amphipolis temporarily put an end to the hostilities between Athens and Sparta. The Athenian forces returned to Piraeus, while Sparta called back the reinforcements they'd sent for Brasidas. The death of both Brasidas and Cleon encouraged the two cities to push for peace. The negotiations took time, but Sparta and Athens eventually agreed to return to the way things were before the Peloponnesian War. The resulting treaty became popularly known as the Peace of Nicias. Throughout the Greek world, it was mostly agreed that Sparta had lost the war, in spite of Brasidas' heroic efforts. The sentiment was rooted in the fact that Sparta had failed to end Athens' domination over Greece, something they had promised to do at the start of the war.
I see you're done with your tour. The Battle of Amphipolis may have briefly put an end to the Peloponnesian War, but the so-called Peace of Nicias was only temporary. It would not be long before Sparta and Athens came to blows once again.
No
Now,
surprise.
is there something else you'd like to do?
Quiz, please.
Feeling up to a test? Which Athenian politician wanted...
That was, Nicias.
Correct. Nicias wanted to build on the truth. Now for the second question. Where did Thucydides and Cleon arrive before moving to retake Amphipolis?
Aeon.
Yes. I have one last question. Amphipolis was located...
Thrace.
Yes. It seems there's nothing I can... Your eagerness for more...
Alright, I'm gonna get these discovery sites and then I'm gonna get out of here. But thank you all for watching.
Welcome to Pylos, traveler. This area, along with the nearby island of Sphacteria, were important battlegrounds during the Peloponnesian War. I always find it a shame that such lovely-looking places were exposed to so much violence. It's difficult to take pleasure in relaxing on the sand, knowing how stained it is with blood. The Peloponnesian War was a great conflict between rivals Sparta and Athens. It lasted many years and cost a great number of lives on both sides. The battles of Pylos and Sphacteria occurred almost one after the other, and culminated with one of the most surprising outcomes in the entire war. But I will not spoil it for you. You'll have to experience it on your own. I'll wait for you at the end of the tour.
Since 431 BCE, the Peloponnesian War had been written after a storm and the Spartan. Once Sparta discovered the Athenian presence on Pylos, the Spartan king Agis mustered his troops and fleet. Sparta then descended on Demosthenes' outpost. The Athenian he pulled his bow. Then, going against his gamble paid off. One of the Spartan leaders, he paid for the battle. However,
just kind of want to get this done. And I don't want to take like 20 minutes to do it, so just rushing through this fish.
the sudden arrival of the Athenian fleet stacked the odds. The fleet decided to hold off. They then, to add insult to injury. Meanwhile,
oh shit, 420 Spartans. Cheers, bruh. Okay,
with 420 of their men trapped on Sphacteria, Sparta needed to The Spartans on the island were essentially in an effort to Sparta agreed to hold back. In the meantime, the hasty truce
yeah, but did they take them out?
To bargain for the safety of their men, Sparta sent him. The ambassadors tried to emphasize that, according to them, these statements, Cleon insisted that the Spartan ambassador.
Uh-oh. Pretty sure
Following
Spartan
the
got
failed
captured.
attempts of the Spartan ambassadors back in Athens, with renewed, the battle was hard. It was then that the Spartans were exhausted. A Spartan
Damn, trapped at all corners.
The Spartans' capitulation complete. Athens used their new prisoners of war as leverage. This gave the Athenians the freedom. Sparta tried to negotiate. Cleon, meanwhile.
So Cleon got powered because of that shit.
I hope you enjoyed the battles. It encouraged them to be more aggressive. Now, I'm happy to oblige. Where were Demosthenes and his fleet forced to land during a storm?
The
No.
Pylos.
Yes, on to the which famous Athenian argued. Socrates was a philosopher.
I'm kidding. It was
Pericles
Pericles.
died.
It was
Demosthenes
Demosthenes.
was
I'm kidding. It's Cleon.
correct. One last question. Which Sparta?
Let's see this.
Correct. I admire your desire.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum. The Aegean Atoll. Aegean. I already know the gods. Main menu, please. Main menu. Quick tutorial screen. Pretty sure it should just saved. And I'm gonna get going. Take care, everyone. Bye.